Hi, my name is Drew Innes and I'm here with Ryan Jaten, who's got a background from building large corporate sales teams with multinationals and selling hundreds of millions of dollars, if not billions of dollars worth of products and services. More recently, leveraging the power of the Internet and telecommunications. And one of the things that I often get asked, particularly from people that are coming from a corporate background, is it viable for them to have what I could only term a midlife career change moment? So we're not talking about a midlife crisis, we're actually talking about a midlife career change moment and shift across to a business model that could leverage the power of the Internet and telecommunications and then scale that relatively quickly to create executive style income. So I thought no better person to speak about that than Ryan.
Sure. It's interesting you used the word career change. In our industry we call it re-careering, and there's a lot of people that are approaching 45, 50 years old. They're getting around that age where they realize they're working harder than what they're earning. And to be very specific about your question about how can the internet change that, it's my belief that work is work. The amount of hours you put in to make $100,000 is often the same amount of hours that somebody else puts in to make $1 million. The only difference is where you're putting the hours and that scalability. If you work in a very small town, you have localized workforce, you have localized results, and you're gonna have a localized income for the most part. Okay. The internet allows you to go literally global. Okay, it's the same amount of effort, it's the same amount of work, and you're using the same skill sets, but the internet allows you to scale it to a global level. One of my greatest successes came from when I left that corporate world where everything was localized and moved into something that could be leveraged by the scalability of the internet. I can tell you right now, in the last 10 years of my career, there's no way I could have done what I did without being online and attracting people from all countries around the world.
Yeah, fantastic. That's a great answer. You know, because there's still, I think to a smaller degree, this perception that it's still a mum and dad type industry. You know, fantastic for the stay-at-home mum, and not that viable for people that are used to potentially making multiple six-figure type incomes or even $1 million plus type incomes. Now, you've more recently been associated with a company in the direct sales industry, and it's one that I do a lot of business coaching with and sales training. And we've more recently, just in the last 15 months, had 4 or 5 people produce $1 million plus incomes just by marketing our products and services over the internet. So, you know, what would you say to somebody that's potentially looking at this video and considering one of these mid-change career change moments?
I'd say do it. There's no simpler way to put it. And I'm going to back up just a little bit to something you said. You said that it's perceived as this mom and pop type of thing. You know, people in the old days we used to say your cousin's sitting in his basement programming a website. You know, and that's this mental perception. But it's quite different than that. I mean, I live in a small town. I can't afford to work locally in my small town.
Yeah, right.
So I do. I work from my home, and I do more business from my home office up in the mountains than I ever did in a big city working in a big office. And that's the power. I mean, that's what people can do with it. One of the points that I would make to people is that if you want to re-career, if you want to change what you're currently doing, I would say keep doing what you're currently doing, just do it in a different environment. And the internet is one of those environments that you can easily step into and work with.
Yeah.
This concept that the internet is for programmers, or this concept of internet is just for the people that are tech savvy, is just false.
Yeah.
More goods and services are moved through the internet right now than any retail business in the world. And so that tells you the size and the capabilities that the internet can offer people that are trying to branch out and get into this type of career. I think there's a phenomenal space for a lot more people in this area.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, appreciate your time.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Drew.
I've been through it myself. I'm a 52-year-old guy, 2 young kids, and I've made that transition from the corporate environment across to the internet, and I'd certainly love to help you with your journey.
All right. Thanks, Drew.
Thanks, mate.